Thanks for tuning in to the Urban Scope podcast. I'm back with more movie news. Now we know it's the summertime, and this is prime time, summer times for movies. Everyone, releases their biggest films somewhere from May all the way to July, August to get the most, get the most revenue, get the most sales because kids are out of school, people go on vacation. So there's a lot of time for people to watch movies and sit down and just enjoy it, family time fun or either just just go view a movie. So it's the perfect time for everyone to go do that. So I looked at a lot of projected movies for 2026, and it's pretty star-studded. And I will go through a few of those movies to talk about those and just give a little background on some of those movies as well that's slated to release in 2026. So this is all the way from January of 2026 all the way to December of 2026. Now, the first movie is the Street Fighter movie. There was a Street Fighter movie back in the day. Of course, things are different now. There's more technology. There's more information. There's more graphics and things like that. So I believe this iteration of the Street Fighter movie will be better. I've always been a fan of Ken and Ryu, especially from the video games back in the day. Just watching the first film. I don't remember the first film too much. It wasn't too memorable. It's kind of like those older films are not better to compare to the newer movies. And I talk about the Twister movie a lot. The original Twister movie, compared to the Twisters movie, is night and day because of the graphics, the lighting. A lot of different things changed from time to time over decades. So I believe the Street Fighter movie will be improved and it will have different characters. I see the wrestler Corey Rhodes signed on to play a character in Street Fighter as well. So it's going to probably be some big names. And the next movie is slated for a May 2026 release, which is the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Now, I'm not a huge fan of The Mandalorian or Star Wars or anything like that, but I know this is a big film most people will care about. I believe it's a sequel from the last movie. So I know it's going to be one of those box office hits. So I am covering it on that behalf because I know what that movie will do in theaters, especially around that May time when kids are getting out of school. So it's going to be a lot of people um, checking into the theaters to see that movie. So that's another one to look out for. I wish I knew more about Star Wars. Maybe I get it on one day, but for now I don't know much. This next movie is slated for June 2026, and it's Masters of the Universe movie. Of course, it's the He-Man, Skeletor, all of those different characters. Now, I haven't really watch He-Man, but my big brother Gary was a big fan of these movies back in the day. He had all the toys and things like that. So, and the castle and all this stuff. So it's going to be exciting to see kids get familiar with He-Man because a lot of kids from this generation are not familiar with He-Man. So it's going to be one of those things that bring kids back. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be some kind of TikTok trend or some kind of social media trend about He-Man or people dressing up like He-Man for Halloween. So next Halloween, I expect the influx of He-Man costumes and He-Man memorabilia and things like that. So it's going to be exciting to see um, old, bring that nostalgia back to kids and stuff like that. So the next movie I'm really excited about is slated for a June 2026 release. Now, this is the scary movie release. Now, this is the Wayans brothers coming back to do the films. I'm not sure if it was some contractual negotiations that they had to do to get back associated with the film, but this is big news for any of us, growing up in the early 2000s. We were big fans of the scary movie ones and twos. Now, after that, I didn't watch anymore because there wasn't no Wayans brothers. And I covered this story, I believe, last year when Marlon leaked that they were actively trying to film the movie. So it's going to be exciting to see that, especially since we haven't seen them on the big screen with a scary movie since 2001. So it's been it'll be a 25-year hiatus when this movie actually released next summer. Uh, but yeah, that's one to definitely check out. And I'm excited to see what movies they spoof because the scary movies are a spoof of the horror films. And there's been a lot of horror films since 2001. You have your Conjurings, your Annabelles, and different things like that. So it's going to be exciting to see what movies they can spoof. And I know it's going to be funny because it's the Wayans brothers. So I don't expect anything different. June 2026, another release is this Toy Story 5 movie is going to be coming out. I used to watch the first two Toy Stories, but I got kind of out, grew them after the second one. But that's a good movie to always watch, a good family friendly movie. Um, Unfortunately, the theme song kind of makes me sad. The "Friend of Me" song, and it always makes me sad. So it's difficult to watch that movie. But I know Toy Story is going to be another box office hits. They can come out with 20 Toy Stories, and they're still people still going to go out to watch it, adults and kids alike. So the next movie that I know is going to be a major hit from, especially from the Marvel world, in July 2026, is that Spider-Man Brand New Day film. Um, of course, that's going to be a big movie. Marvel always does well with their movies, especially the big characters like your Iron Man, Spider Man's, Hulk. Any of those characters, they do well every time they release a film, no matter what it's about or who's starring in the film. People are going to go out to see them because they remember them from their childhood and they've been big fans of those films forever. So that Spider Man Brand New Day movie is going to be huge. Next October 2026, you have the Jordan Peele Untitled movie. And knowing Jordan Peele is probably going to be a horror film, especially releasing in October. So I expect some kind of horror suspense film. But right now it's not titled. So we'll check and see what that'll be. But I imagine around the Super Bowl time, we'll get some kind of announcement about what the film will be, or shortly after the Super Bowl, similar to, I think, a couple of years back. So November 2026, Hunger Games is releasing a movie called Sunrise on the Reaping. So that's going to be another iteration or another addition to the series for Hunger Games. I haven't never been a huge Hunger Game fan, but I know this film is going to make a lot of money, especially with the history that it has and the track record that it has. It keeps being able to add to their storyline. So we'll see how that movie turns out, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a box office hit. This next movie, I know it's going to be an even bigger hit. Probably, I expect this movie to be the biggest box office hit of the year next year. Hopefully, the date doesn't get pushed back because it's slated for a December 2026 release. But if the Avengers Doomsday movie with Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom, hopefully this doesn't get pushed back, because I believe this will be the biggest grossing film of the year. Probably not, because coming out December 6th, it only have like less than a week to actually accumulate all the money. But I expect by mid January that it will gross the most money within the past year. I just don't know if it'll be in that same calendar year as the other movies because of how late it's projected to release. But nevertheless, I expect that movie to do well. The Return of the Avengers, it's been a few years, so we've all missed the Avengers and we want to see them back. And lastly, Shrek 5 is slated for a December 2026 release as well. So the Shrek film is another one of those films that is another remake or um, another addition to the series, and it's one of those films that'll do well as well, being animated and just being a family fun friendly movie that we all can watch and love. It's going to be one of those box office hits as well. So tell me what you think about the list of anticipated movies for 2026. And as always, I'll see you next time.